Hi all. Okay, microphone is working. Welcome to this channel. We're going to talk about several issues I want to show you, and we are going to get started right now. Today's issue is the Roswell incident, of which you have probably heard before. And well, it's sort of, people tell you that's another conspiracy theory, but it's not. It's fact, it's truth, it happened, and we're going to show you how all this is about. My channel is going to be designed to be um, um, a sort of an documentation soap, a docu-soap, which will frequently inform you about the issues that are important on this planet and that are real, and to give you just an insight into reality which the newspapers and the TV set won't give you. Um, at first, before we get started, we should make ourselves comfortable and turn the chimney on, and let's see how far we can go today. Some 20 years ago, I was asked by a friend of mine in one of my boards how I would consider or describe or think about the future of mankind and planet Earth. And I made a decision, and I had some thoughts. And what I did was I created, in short, a constitution uh, for Mother Earth. For all mankind, for all nations, and it is just an idea, and I published it here, and I invite you to check it, to make your comments, to give your ideas to it, because I think we all can do best when we work together and when we just, be part of it. Um, for this thing, the constitution of the Earth, there are some friends invited from the galaxy and other energetic realms. For some of you, they won't be real, but they are. They definitely are. And there is a galactic federation of our Milky Way, and this federation is being represented by the Ashtar Command, of which many of you have heard of before, and they are here to help mankind, human mankind of Mother Earth, to develop, to unfold, and to become a free planet, free citizen, and free people in the galaxy, as it is written in the stars above and as it should be. Um, the Ashtar Command is a space station orbiting around planet Earth in some way up there, and they're real. You cannot detect them visually because they got some hypno shield in front of them, which is just the fact that the human eye can only see frequencies between 400 and 700 nanometers of the spectrum of light. And what they do, they use some sort of frequency manipulation in order to vanish themselves visually from our eyes, but you can detect them definitely when you're a psychic or a person meditating intensively and finding a clue to that. Um, the Galactic Federation consists of about 200,000 member star nations throughout the galaxy, our Milky Way, and other energetic realms, and most of them, I say about 40% are human, just like you and I are, and they are all led, they differ from planet to planet slightly because of the frequencies, the regional sun or several suns they are in a system do have, and because the frequency a sun shines varies the outcome how the beings on a planet surrounding the sun appear. And this galactic federation is led by a very wise and old and so much caring and loving race I've never met before. I tell you, they're great. They're really just great. And those are called the Acturians, and you find them right here in the left, in the lower left. They are the best entities you can have for, and they are sort of protectors of the whole Milky Way, and they do not consider themselves, as far as I have understood it, as being some teachers for us to tell us how we should live our lives, but just to invite us, to give us another knowledge of how we could decide how we would live, how we would like to live our lives. In case you want to contact the Acturians or the Galactic Federation of Light or the Asha Command, you can do it easily with telepathic ways, because everything single being in the universe is connected through telepathic ways, and this telepathy works through on a subconscious and on a conscious level, and we can connect each other. We definitely can do so, and it is a way to get free, and it is a way to it's the next step into reality of a completely new millennium we're going to face and which lies ahead of us. So what is happening now pretty soon, I don't have the actual time, but I'm waiting here in my flat for some extraterrestrial friends from the Asha Command to arrive, and we're going to fly to New York City aboard on an extraterrestrial shuttle, a so-called spacecraft or UFO, in order to broadcast my thesis, which you can see on the right here, the voice of man, which is and could be, just if you want so, because I don't want to tell you what you should do in your lives, but I invite you to accept whatever you think is good for you. And so if you want to take a look at the Voice of Man, my thesis, how we could organize our societies, you're invited to do so. And you please, please, please make your comments and go on further with everything you want to. But we're here for today for one thing, the Roswell incident. Many of you have heard before of Roswell happening, and it's probably something which you didn't consider when you're a normal person living your 9 to 5 hours a day. You probably think like, It's well, it's nothing of interest. It's just a fantasy or whatever, but it's not. It's just plain truth, and it is happening. It happened, and there's proof of it, and there's enough knowledge in the world about it, and I'm going to show you what's going on with it. That you see on the right to my video screen, you see two newspaper headlines. The first one was a broadcast in 1947. Two extraterrestrial spacecrafts, some so-called UFOs, crashed on the farming land of farmer McBrazel nearby Roswell, New Mexico, in the United States of the USA. McBrazel then called the deputy of the local sheriff, and he called the Major Jesse Marcel of the 509 Heavy Bombardment Group in Roswell, New Mexico, headed by Colonel Blanchard, and informed the Army of that crash of the UFOs. During that time, the 509 Heavy Bombardment Group was the only installation having the atom bomb. That was happening in 1947. If Paul Tibbets, as you might know, wouldn't have dropped Fat Man on Hiroshima, it would have been Colonel Blanchard's turn to do so. So these guys at Roswell really know what to do. They really were into it. In short, the 509ers checked out the situation of the crashed vehicles, and Colonel Blanchard then made a press release, which you can see here on the right, in which he informed the public about the flying saucers crash. As you might think, this happened to be some problems in order of all these upper guys, the Pentagon and stuff like that. And so, in reaction to that, General Ramney of the Pentagon ordered Major Jesse Marcel, who first examined the crash UFOs to Fort Worth in Texas in a top secret mission. And then, in the following press conference held by General Ramey, the reporters got some tinfoil weather balloons presented by Major Marcel in order to debunk the given UFO news to world's community. None of the crashed space vehicles, just a weather balloon. That's where it comes from, that you make your jokes to nowadays, like, oh, it was only a weather balloon. It wasn't definitely. And I invite you, as you can see, the internet address on the right, the Roswell case, I invite you to watch that movie documentation. I strongly recommend it to you because it shows you all the facts about the Roswell incidents and leaves no questions open. You can see everything and make up your own mind and find the answers you want to know, and that will fully satisfy your interests. I'm certain about that. Just I know. Please. I understand that people say like, well, UFO. There's no UFOs. There's just that is all conspiracy and stuff like that. If you go deeper, there are many conspiracy theories which are just dumb bullshit. And many of those are just in this world in order to not make you aware of that there could in fact be some real conspiracy things going out to happen around there, and therefore I invite you to check the internet address I posted here on the right side, the Roswell case. Watch that movie, please. Please do it. It is a movie with Martin Sheen and Kyle MacLachlan. They are famous Hollywood actors, but they're into it like these issues have been in there before, and the story behind of that movie, which is of a documentary style, is definitely the truth. And I invite you to watch that. It's well, not amusing but very intelligent. So please have a good time, have a great time. I didn't talk about today about the corona issue. Well, I know about all that. All I can say is don't be alarmed. Please don't be alarmed. Consider yourself as being eternal beings. You cannot die. Your soul cannot die. And there's help coming, definitely. So please focus on, well, at least the doctors in my family say so. Wash your hands and stay apart from each other, and connect via the internet and the phone and whatever you can use. But I invite you, please, to make up your mind and to continue on hoping, on believing, and keeping the faith. Have just a good night, and we'll see what's going to be next. Have a great time.